No, just let him do it.
Please join me in Gasho. Naman loves, Naman loves, Naman loves, Naman loves.
Good morning, everyone. Ohayo gozaimasu. Thank you for attending our September Shotsuki monthly memorial service. This morning, we will begin with Mokuso, which is a silent meditation, followed by the Shomyo, which is the Nembutsu.
Naman loves, 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 Naman.
Now we will have the reading of the Vandana and Tisarana, which is found on page 325 in the Purple Satan.
For those of you who are joining by Zoom, it's also on the screen. Naman loves, Naman loves, Naman loves, Naman loves. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddha Saranam Gacchami. to the Buddha for guidance. Dharma Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Dharma for guidance. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
We will now have the singing of the Gatha Shinshu Shuka, which is found on page 306 in Purple Seitan. Would everyone please stand?
Kimi ai suru irasachina Itasuramichio Kiraki Makoto Vimune Itadakan Yori Suvareshi Vinasachinani Kurama Deki Ronguji no Minao Tona Etsutsu Yono Nariwai Isoshiman Umi no Uchito no Tera Teraki Niyoya Ao Wanahara Adi Sutta Etsutsu Ikuni no Tabi no Tomo ni sen. Someone else, someone please.
Please be seated. Sensei will now lead us in the sutra chanting. First of all, Sambujo on page 89, and then followed by the Amida Kyo, which is found on page 90. Halfway through the chanting, I will be calling forth members who have lost loved ones during this month of September.
Before we go any further, the people on Zoom, are you able to hear me okay? I hear a couple of comments saying it's not coming in clearly. Is it coming in okay? Suizo and Nobu, can you hear me okay? If you can, just give me a thumbs up. Or
Sensei, we hear you properly.
okay, thank you. Thank you, Sebastian. Okay, we will then go continue on with the Sambijo. Namandobs, 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 namandobs. Jo mi no yo ni jo sa ye ra a bu jo cha ni jo o sa ye ra jo je o ra ni no yo sa ye ra a We're gathered here today in the quietude of Amita's Temple to commemorate the September 2022 Shotsuki monthly memorial service. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gasho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions, and may the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dharma. May the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. Namo. Sat Amida Kyo Yo De Ije Bada Dai Jai Go Gi Gi Go Dong Yo Dai Big Sen Yag Go Juning Kai Dai Shri Anna Gana Sharadai Maga Gohina Agurana Yodedo Shodai Deji Byoshobodan Magazan Monju Shiri Hoji Aida Bodan Kenda Dai Bodan Jojo Jimbodan Yo Yo De Do Dai Bodan Yu Shak Dai Ga No Ryo Jo Den Dai Ju Ni Ji Bun Go Cho Ro Ja Ni Am Ju De Sai Yo Ga Ju Ma No Ga Bu Do Se Gai Myo Wa De Go Ra Go Do Bu Ngô A Mi Đà Con Nghe Đại Thế Bồ Sa Đi Yo Thấy Đô Ca Ca Myo Y Go Cơ Ra Go Cơ Chê Chom Đan Như Cho Đăng Go Myo Go Cơ Ra Shari Yada Gogara Gogara Ije Ranja Ije Rama Ije Gaja Gaide Jiyo Jadai Nyo Te Go I Go Myo Wada Gogara Shari Yada Gogara Gogara Oji Dog Leja Manga Ji Dai Jani Oja Ji Ngai Do Go Hariga Jagari Hari Jago Jagaja Menoni Ganjagi Jari Jagi Jaga Jagi Jaga Jagajagi Jaga Jagajagi Byaga Mimyaga Geda Jariya Gogara Gogada Jajanya Deka Dagajaga Jariya Bada Gogada Jada Oh, je ya rag ji man ge go ga je jo yi jo dang ge go jo ye mya ge ge ya da wo je man ge Sogai jiki jigen no ban jiki gyo gyo shani ade gogara gogodo jo je nya de go jo ga ba shi shani ade i gogodo ba shi je ki myo Zashigi Jabyago Gujagama Shari Jaya Ragaji Zaiva Geva Gava Ganga Jiva Daiva Jodava Yode Do Mande Ani Gai Ne Mane Gari other job of the easy George the die or Georgia. Don't pay Jagai, but the Goganda was a mugger. Gari other job of the Goganda, John, the Mugger, Shimio. Suy mi miao wa hi nyo yang ge sen yu ge jo ji ge da mon je on ya ge ji ne yo ne ma da ne mo ne do shi shi ya ri ya de go bu de go do jo ju nyo de ge do Joga Shari Oda Onya
Members who have passed away during the month of September. Father Tomihiko, Himadatsu Toshiyuki, Reno Yoko, Hamade Hiroko, Hamaguchi Hana,
Cha
How many cereal? How many time?
angsogi gogo묘합니다. shari
Shigeru.
mina buddha buddha
Shimoto Shizuo. Hikida Ito.
eva
Hirose Tazo Tom.
shama
Se Tashichi.
ije
Ikeda Tadatoshi.
shama
Inoue Masao. Ito Homotomi. Hariyatsumari Himi Roy.
yaja
Hariya Sadako. Kawabata Yonechi. Kimura Kiyoko. Kishi Seiji.
Gajanavan Gajajanai Danajisidanga Azagi Gadaya Siyalaja Wana Joy Joy Cha Vana Nyaga Jana Monala Amida Balaja Jimyaga Nyaga Nyaga
Kobayashi Genichiro.
Nyaga Gani
Kudahashi Kenji.
Nyaga Ije
Maende Kichitaro. Maekawa Tokujiro. Matsuyama Hideo. Mizuyabu Shigeharu.
De
Morishita Hiroshi.
Jo
Morizawa Kusa. Muramatsu Marian. Shizue.
Oja Hadegan Joy Gogudo Dari Yada Nyaga Prasanna Amida Bala Tava Yaga Daya Me Balaja
Murano Toku Ichiro.
Yada
Noriwa Morio. Natsuno Iwa.
Ý sai cho bất cho cơ đen kyo ra đi ở nam bồ đề cái
Mapatsuru, Gary, Mitsuru,
Bồ đề miao mong ngô bồ đề đa mi ngô bồ đề phật yo yo je bồ đề yo se to ngô ga ja je yo bồ ga 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 sei ga jo de do em bồ đa
Nishi, Hideo,
Thế là do trên có nhau
Nishi, Yukio,
cho đâu có xin cho ta bữa ca đi kì cơ đâu có hiểm biên đại cho bên cho nên nhau cha đi ở tới đây ở đây
Nishi, Mitsue,
mưa gió bên mưa gió bên
Nishikihama, Yoshiharu,
đại miêu bơ tơ so bơ tơ cho có bơ yo de cho có ga cha chư cho bơ tơ ga ru có suy có cho de so
Okanwa, Yusao, Otame, Juko,
Ho xin
Urie, Yai Kichi, Oye, Yakichi,
cho
Ozeki, Yoshi, Yomto, Spiro, Sakata, Yoshiaki, Sameshima, Fujie,
mô miao bơ tơ nhau thầy có gì
Shioji, Kenan,
cho có nên nhớ ra đi ở cái vô thế cả ở chế chế bơ tơ bơ tơ miao có bơ tơ
Hio,
bơ ho đó bơ tơ đi nhỏ bơ tơ nhỏ thế cho có ga cha chư cho bơ các có thấy có cho dễ cho em bơ ra dễ cái dễ cái dễ cho chứ có nhỏ to chứ cho xin cho ta cái gì cơ cho cái ra cho cho đen nhớ ra đi ở
Tabata,
cho
Hiroshi,
cái con đó
Tamaki, Yoshio, Tanaka, Sakie,
cái dài bờ nhỏ như mi đem bờ nhỏ dễ to hoa ga ra chữ cho bờ có thấy có cho dễ cho em bờ đại đại dễ cái dễ cho chữ có nhỏ cho to
Honey, Mary, Yoshiko,
시기 그저
타네가미 무츠오
여버저거네
타네가미 모리지
이어 언여이어
호사카 이츠에
이자
야구치 유리에
양은
테라무라 타카시
만에 여버저거네
예쁘다
예
infant
자네
스물아 미야코 우에야마 미노 야마모토 무사오 야마나카 유키오 야마시타 세치코
가이도 신유가 거기서부셔서 자리여 야근이 어드간 어드간 도드간 여그저 아미다버 거그저 대전인도 아이저그 다이정오와 너그다
요시다 미미코
모다요
요시다 하루에
도냐그이쇼냐건
요시다 수미에
대거리여들려대나 야니 야그진야 오도드가 여이거 그저 자리여드냐
lost a loved one during this month. This went off path forward. Please do a toll.
인자재건 샤가머니 버드노이제나 개브시기노 샤바 고그저 고저그와그세 오저그겐저그 오저그주저저그묘저그주악노쿠다라 삼명담보다 이쇼셔저세세이사이세게 난신시오샤리어저지가 보고저그악세 여신난지도그 노그다라 삼명담보다 이사이세게 대신난지지요 대진남부대시교이기 자리어서교쇼비그 이사이세겐데니 아슈라도 몬부르조네드 강기신주 사라이니고 무슨 미라교 나 나무 나마나부 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 간이싱을 너그 sai do mo nai shi o jo anago. Namanos, 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 namanos.
Now we will have Dharma talk by Reverend Gutta.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you here in our Hondo for this service. And welcome to those also joining us by Zoom. It is hard to believe that we're already into September, 3/4 of the way through the year already. And I like to begin my talk by reading a passage from, this is actually a poem that was written by a person by the name of Saichi, Asahara Saichi. And he was known as what we call Myokoni. And he lived in the 1800s in Shimane Prefecture. Does anybody know where Shimane Prefecture is in Japan? If you go to Hiroshima, okay, and you go just west of Hiroshima, that's Yamaguchi, and above Yamaguchi is Shimane. So it's sort of the western tip of the main island of the Honshu, Japan. Okay, and the Saichi lived there in the 1800s, and he's known as a myokoni, or wondrously pious individual. And there were a number of individuals who were recognized in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism as being these very pious people. And most of these people were almost illiterate, but they were very, very devout in their followings. And Saichi himself, which was not uncommon for these individuals, myokonis, was started off as quite a hellraiser in his youth. And he didn't have a good upbringing, and he drank a lot of alcohol and got into fights. And it was upon his being put inside jail one time, he was released on the condition that the local temple minister be his guardian. And so at the host of the local temple minister, Saichi was released. And he sort of turned his life around. And he became, so he was a shipbuilder before he turned his life around. But once he was released from the prison, he became a craftsman making geta. Geta are the Japanese sandals, the shoes, the wooden shoes. And he became a geta craftsman, a maker of these shoes. And when he made these shoes, what he would do is he would sing as he would make these shoes. And he would make up his own little songs. And often these songs were in the form of like poems. And part of making these geta shoes is that they would use not a lathe, but a plane to shave off the rough edges. And as he would shave off, he would start writing these poems down on the shavings that he had created. And then he would go home in the evening and he would copy down what he had come up with into notebooks. And then he would end up going to the temple and showing the minister at the temple. And he made quite a few collections of these notebooks of his poems. And later they became very famous throughout Japan as these poems of a very devout individual. And the passage I wanted to read you was one such poem that he had created. And it goes like this. Saichi has nothing, which is joy. Outside this, there's nothing. Both good and evil, all is taken away. Nothing is left. To have nothing, this is the release. This is the peace. All is taken away by the Namo Amida Butsu. This is truly the peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. So basically what Saichi said was that in the end, both good and evil was all taken away by what we call Amida Buddha. He basically given everything up to Amida Buddha, and he felt truly at peace when he did so. And the reason why I read this passage today is I wanted to share with you, it's actually, today is very special for me because it was in 1992 in September that I started my ministry in Toronto. So it's exactly 30 years now, 30th anniversary. Wow, it's a long time, and yet it seems also quite short. And it is actually 14 years ago, I came in August in 2008 here to Steveston. So it's been 14 years since I've been here in Steveston as well. So as I was thinking about this, and I apologize to some of you, this might sound boring, but I wanted to share some experiences that I had over those 30 years. And some of the highlights, if you will. So I've been very fortunate over these 30 years to participate in 2 temples, Toronto and here in Steveston. And one of the highlights, of course, in Toronto was in 2005, we built a brand new temple in Toronto. And during that opening ceremony, when we built the temple, we had a very special guest, Reverend Professor Taitetsu Unno, and he was talking about the 5 conditions in hearing the Nembutsu or the teachings. And he said you need good past conditions, and you need a good teacher, somebody that guides you the way, and you need the name Namo Amida Butsu, and you need the light of the Buddha, and you need an entrusting heart. So these 5 things, it's not 5 things that Uno Sensei came up with. They were actually Renyo Shonin, who scrolls to the left of Amida Buddha. Renyo came up with these things, okay, 5 things. Past good conditions, a good teacher that leads you to the Dharma, the light of the Buddha, the name Namo Amida Butsu, and also the entrusting heart. Okay, so all these things have to come into play. And Uno Sensei gave a talk on this. And as it turned out, and I've mentioned this a number of times, so some of you are familiar with it, we had our opening of the new temple on August the 20th of 2005. And I'll never forget it because for this occasion, it was also, 2005 was also the celebration of the 100th, the centennial of Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada. The first temple was started in Vancouver on Powell Street in 1905. And just to give you context here, the Scouts Canada, Boy Scouts, they actually started in 1908 in Canada. So our organization is older than Scouts Canada, okay, just to give you context. But anyways, in 2005, we opened up a brand new temple in Toronto. We moved from a location that they were for many years on 918 Bathurst Street, and we moved a little further north and we created a new temple. But on August 20th, we were having the grand opening. And for that occasion, we had coming from Japan, the Gomonshu. Gomonshu is the head of our organization. He would be the equivalent of like the Pope to the Roman Catholics. Okay, so or the Dalai Lama to the Tibetan Buddhists, etc. So the Gomonshu is the head of our organization, and he was coming here partially for the centennial celebration of the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist temples of Canada, but also to open our brand new temple. So August 20th was the opening day. The day before that, August 19th, we held a private viewing for the Gomonshu of the brand new facility, knowing that the 20th would be so busy with service and so many members. So that day, August 19th, when the Gomonshu was about to come, he was at his hotel, and the entourage was just leaving the hotel, about a 20-minute drive from where the new temple was, when we had a historic downfall, rain, and it came down buckets. Like if that, oh, it's raining now. Oh, okay. But anyways, it was nothing like this, because where that wisteria building is, I'm just putting it in context to that time. We had a parking lot outside our temple, and the end of the parking lot was maybe about where that wisteria building is. You couldn't see the end of the parking lot because it was raining so hard. And the entourage got delayed on the way to the temple because there were outages throughout Toronto, power outages. The stop signs, stoplights were all going out. In fact, a couple of the roads were washed away. That's how it was a historic, record-breaking rainfall. And so we're waiting anxiously for him and the limousine, the entourage, to come, when one of our members ran up behind me and says, "Sensei, there's something terrible that's happening." And she said, "Come and look." And I run to the Hondo, and the new temple had a sky roof, a skylight above the Onaiji, and it was pouring down like a waterfall in front. So you can imagine my position. This is like the topmost important person in our denomination coming to our temple, and here it is. It's like a waterfall in there. Well, fortunately, the following day, when we did have the opening, it was a nice sunny day, and we didn't have to worry about that. But it struck me very strongly with this talk that Taitetsu Uno said about the 5 conditions to hearing the Dharma, and when he talked about the light of the Buddha. The light does not necessarily, it's not a physical light, it's the light of wisdom. And that rainfall that came down was in fact a light. And what it was showing me was that this brand new building that we were so proud of, what it was telling me was don't become vain. And that just that it is a building, and that's all it is. And it's a physical structure, and it will have its faults. It will have it. And what's more important than the physical structure is the contents, and that's the teachings. And so as long as we have this Nembutsu teaching, that's most important. So that was just a highlight in Toronto. But as time wore on in Toronto, I had well, actually, it was twice during my stay in Toronto. Bishop Matsubayashi, who was the bishop of the organization at that time, tried to move me to the West Coast. But the Toronto congregation said, no, we were in the middle of building this new temple project, so they didn't want me to leave. So once it was completed, I think it was around 2007, I actually had a visit, and he probably doesn't remember this, but I ran into Mitch Sakai. And I don't know if he was still president at that time, but he said, "Grand Sensei, we really need you out in Steveston." And so finally, the third time that this move or the proposition for a move came about, it went through. And I came in 2008. And at that time, I didn't know when I came over, but Mitz would end up becoming my Matsutake guru, as he took me a couple of times to go Matsutake hunting. And he even bequeathed me his treasured map So, but coming here to Stevenson has been truly an experience. And throughout the time here, I've encountered many followers, Nembutsu followers. And one of the things that has occurred here over the years that I've been here, we've been going to Vancouver Island every summer for the Obon cemetery visitation. And that has grown now where people on the island are actually hosting their own cemetery visitations, and it's growing as a movement. And of course, most recently, we have the building of the Wisteria place. But throughout all these various things encounters that have happened, there has been one common denominator, and that has been the Nembutsu teachings. So for all of you here too, your connection with me is because of the Dharma, the teachings. And that is the working of the Buddha, Amida Buddha, but also all of your ancestors, all the loved ones that we have come to remember today. That has been a common denominator for us. And when we realize this, we realize both good and evil, everything. We let go of it all, and we just rely on the entrusting heart of the teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu is a coming together of the infinite and the finite. Namo is myself. Namo is sentient beings. Amida Buddha is the infinite. So when we put our hands together, we're coming together one with the infinite Buddha that tells us that there is truly a oneness that exists. So as I reflected back on my 30 years journey so far, I was constantly reminded of the fact that through all the different interactions that I've had with all of you and all the members in the past as well, it has all been connected by a oneness that exists. And that's reflected in the teachings of Namo Amida Butsu. So at this point, I would like to ask you, please join me in Gassho as we recite the name of the Buddha or Namo Amida Butsu once again. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. Thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me to ramble a little bit today.
Thank you, Sensei. Now we will have the presentation of the Offertory.
Oh, you know what? Sorry.
Oh, it's here.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Now we will have the Gata Saya, found on page 313, 313. Please stand.
朝ごよりあまたおわする仏たち夜昼常に守らすと聞くになごめる我が心。No one loves, no one loves.
Please be seated. Now this is the closing of the service. Please remember to pick up your home meal and pick up the right one. And the Fujinkai ladies will be serving tea in the hondo. So please stay and partake and visit. There are a few coming events that are listed in your program. So next week we have our regular service. And then on Monday, we have our board meeting. Now, 16th to 18th weekend, the Buddhist churches of BC Jodo Shinju Buddhist Temples Federation is holding a convention here in Steveston. And if you would like, we could please, you could register and attend. And on the 18th, we'll have the Suito Hoyo Memorial Service. And 25th of September, we have Fall Higan Service. And then following that in October, we have the Jodo Shinju Buddhist Churches of Canada Day and Shotsuki Service, a monthly memorial service here. And the 9th, of course, is a regular service with the Kids Sangha. And 12 noon, we will be hosting the Keirokai, which is for the seniors 80 years and over. So if any of you like to attend, please let us know, either the office, myself, Itoko, or Hiroko, and Sensei. And following that, we have the regular services for the rest of the October, the 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Okay, so that is the end of the service. Please take care and stay for tea. Thank you for attending.
Hey, thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Leave?
Hmm?
You don't want to leave?
Want to leave? Yeah. So what happened? Nothing
Leave
happened.
meeting.
Oh, they moved.
Say thanks, Jeremy.